we're going to move into the question and answer period now, and that will be run by Jim Sacco.
Oh, sure.
Next question is for Mike Kicinski. Would you fight to protect the mortgage interest deduction for homeowners?
Everybody likes deductions off their taxes. And this is something that I do agree with, that we should hold on to tax deductions, but we also want to see the tax code revised. And this is where, but when you think about it, you're doing your taxes, and each tax form has a certain amount of estimated time on there, and it will say 40 minutes for completion. And you don't just do one form, you do 3 or 4, sometimes even more. And I even had to do the alternative minimum tax form, which is that one that will take into account if you fall into an area where the government thinks you're not paying enough because of deductions they already gave you. So we want to see the tax code revised to something more simpler. And with that, see the amount of taxes that we pay to the federal government reduced so that the money stays in the state and we use that money more efficiently. Why should we be taxed at the federal level to send the money to the federal government only to have it handled by that bureaucracy and dole it back to the states under mandates and regulations that the state has to meet? We can use our money more efficiently by keeping the money in the state and not sending it out just to be doled back.
Can you name specific areas where you see opportunity for bipartisan cooperation on fiscal reform?
Yes, simply put, as I already spoke, it's the common sense and back to the basics. You are required to live your life within a budget. If you don't have enough money and you've gone to the end of your credit limit, you just can't go and say, I want more credit limit. I want to increase my credit limit from $20,000 to $30,000. The bank will say, no, you have to do something to start paying that down and stay below that credit limit. The government has to do the same thing. Congress has to see the simplicity of the solution. You can't keep borrowing to spend more. In fact, they say we have to borrow more to spend less, and that makes no sense. Congress has to work together for that common sense, basic solution of a balanced budget, not borrowing more money, paying down the debt, having a budget in place.
Same question for Mike Kicinski. What is your stance on the federal role regarding hydrofracking in New York?
The federal role has already been determined. It's a state issue. It's already been determined at different levels of the state and the courts. So my role at the federal level would be to make sure there weren't more restrictions put in place that would restrict the states. And I guess that's it. Thank you.
Same question, Mike Kicinski. Considering the state of the Middle East and recent anti-American protests, what action do you believe we should take in regard to Iran and Israel?
Running as a citizen representative candidate, I cannot answer that question with, because of, I do not have the experience or the knowledge in these foreign issues, and we don't have a paid staff to help out with the research. But what I can promise you is that anytime we have an issue like this come up, I would consult with those people that have the experience and knowledge and look to support a constitutional decision on this, and that which would be also supported by the constituents of the district. And I'll add that what we've always want to see is a strong response from the United States to show that we will protect Americans on foreign soil and on that soil that is supposed to be sovereign territory of the United States, the embassies.
Next question is for Mike Kicinski. The Cold War ended long ago. What, if any, role do you see for NATO going forward?
I don't have an answer for that. Again, lack of staff to help out with learning these issues. And it's, again, foreign relations and treaties, and we know it's very complicated.